Hi guys, so it's another Friday and it's the clarity call. I'm hoping to have some people join on stream on restream so that I can go live with them and take questions, and then we can have that conversation playback, you know, on Instagram. So I'm just going to quietly wait for these people to join me or to come live with me. So for context, let me just quickly go through what we're doing here today. Every Friday we have this clarity call at 9 p.m. West African time. And one of the things I wanted to personally talk about here today is the fact that so we have moved the coaching for some of our programs to the summer. Summer because I want to take away, like, I want to make sure that I meet some personal deadlines. I have some personal project that I'm working on. So I want to take all of that off my to-do list. And so when I'm done with that, the next thing would be for us to, I would then have time to do the summer coaching where I simply work with a group of scholars in the 100 Profiters Club and a group of scholars in the 100 Scholars Club. And one of the things that I would be doing before the 100 Scholars Club program is I will be creating content for 30 days throughout June. Throughout the month of June, I'll basically create content and share information on on what scholars looking to study abroad can do. So in simple words, I will be creating content on 30 steps to a guaranteed scholarship, and I will be making all of that available in June. I should be able to have time first week in May to be able to put that content together and launch out with that content in the month of June as I count down to a very important event that I will be doing for scholars at the end of June, which is going to be a live class. So, what is going on right now is me using the next 60 days to strategically campaign about my book, okay? And after that, we would have the 30-day series for scholars where I will be sharing content on or strategies for accessing fully funded scholarship, especially people who are even abroad already and they're looking to get into R1 universities or very prestigious programs, that may not require that they do assistantship, and they only probably will just have to, you know, beyond the typical assistantship that we're aware of, one of the things that I'm going to be teaching in June is the ways or the strategies that we can use, even as scholars who are already living abroad, to access fully funded programs, not just assistantship-based courses or programs. So I won't be able to do that now. I am moving all of that till June, but my focus is to the next 60 days simply talk about the book that is coming up or that I plan to publish. Meanwhile, I have someone in the waiting room, and you just hear our conversation here while we are in this room. Hi, Ezekiel. Can you hear me? Ezekiel, can you hear me? Hello? I can't hear you, but can you hear me? Can you hear me? The network is terrible. Okay, let's hope that Ezekiel will join us again. And if he doesn't, Let's hope that we have some other people who would join in. I think I need to increase this light source, or what do we do? Take myself out. Except I want to move this here. Okay, so while we're waiting, I have about 20 minutes before I check out. I'm hoping that some scholars would join. Let me check. Why are we not having anyone here? What's going on? Maybe I have to check in with some of these people to find out where they are and if they're still going to be joining the session. Okay, so what I would do is, in the absence of people, I'm simply just going to, take questions that people have asked me in the past, and then I'll just respond. So in the past, I've got questions from people. So if we cannot have people join right now, I'm simply going to, just go ahead and collect the questions that I've gotten in time past and just simply respond to those questions. So one of the questions that I've got in the past is a question like, how do I write a statement of purpose? I'm just using this to wire to to see if someone is going to join. But the thing is, how do I write a statement of purpose? I always say that the format for writing a statement of purpose is not different from the format for writing a letter of introduction. A statement of purpose is just a more detailed and advanced version of a letter of introduction. So, in writing a letter of introduction, it is very important that you understand this. I mean, in writing a statement of purpose, it is very important that you do not end up right. So, I see people make this mistake of writing a statement of purpose for a letter of introduction. I mean, you're simply introducing yourself to a professor. You should not have more than two short paragraphs. But a lot of times you see people writing, as though they were writing a detailed letter, such as a statement of purpose, instead of actually writing a letter of introduction. They end up writing a statement of purpose, right? So basically, do not make the mistake of writing a statement of purpose for a letter of introduction, right? So do not make the mistake. Let me post this here. Do not make a mistake of what? Writing a letter of introduction for a statement of purpose, or writing a statement of purpose for a letter of introduction. So, one of the things that I think it is also important to bear in mind is there are building blocks for a statement of purpose. There are building blocks for a statement of purpose. So there are some programs where all you need to write or present is a statement of purpose. And there are programs where you need a combination of a statement of purpose, a diversity essay, and some other things like a good CV, not even a resume. And of course, it's a different conversation entirely when it comes to what makes a resume, what makes a CV. So, in writing your letter of introduction, or rather, in writing or building a statement of purpose, these are the things that I always do. The first thing in paragraph one is I start with a story. I start by telling a story. I start by telling a personal story, a relational story, a communal story, or a global, you know, like story. So when I say personal story, what is that personal story? Why are you going for that course? Oh, you want to go for a degree in engineering. Why are you interested in engineering? Are you interested in that area because of some event in your personal life or something you had experienced? Personally can be personal, can be professional personal, can be academic personal, meaning it can be an experience that you have lived. It might be an experience that something you experienced during as a at work, or something you experienced even in business, right? Or something you experienced as a student or as someone in the academics. So basically, understand this for sure, that there is a clear-cut difference between a personal story and a communal story. And any of these types of stories can serve as the opening paragraph or the hook for your statement of purpose. So get a story, a story that is relatable. Move on to then in your second paragraph, tell us about. Now, in the first paragraph, recall that you're not just going to tell a story. Remember to build logic for that story. Logic, as in, what are some other people saying about that story? About that? No, no, no. What are some other people's experience or experiences when it comes to that, situation? So, for example, if your personal story is, let me think about this. If your personal story has to do with the fact that you were a victim of road crash, right? Or maybe, yeah, let's even use road crash as an example. That's a personal experience. Now think about it communally in building the logic for your first paragraph. The logic there is, are there other people who are experiencing the same difficulty, or are there people who are going through the same problem? So, are there people who have had family members who were victims of road crash? Or are there people who have personal experiences as victims of road crash? So that is a communal aspect to your personal story, meaning that there are other people who are facing the same dilemma. So then think about the global story. The global story there is, how does this relate to the sustainable development goals? How does this relate to any of the sustainable development goals? It is very important that you think globally. So you build a personal story, go on to talk about the communal and then the global story. Then you have like a full story in one for your first paragraph. Now, logically transition into the second paragraph by telling us how these things, these stories that you have described, became the building blocks or like became the basis for the application, your academic interest. And so then go ahead and tell us about that academic interest in the second paragraph. I mean, mention the courses you've taken, mention places you've worked, or anything that is relevant, but simply focus on academic experience or whatever it is you have done academically or professionally that has continuously helped to fuel that passion or interest. The third part of, I have a call. Let me see if I can take this call. Hello, great woman.
Hello?
Are you here?
Yeah, I think we're on your street, so
Okay,
maybe
let
sometimes
me
your
just come
network
out so you
drops.
guys don't get lost. Let me come out. Yeah, I'll see you soon.
We are outside already, so you can just like bring it down. Hello?
I didn't hear you.
Yes, we are outside. We got the directions.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Then
Thank you.
okay, so I would continue on when next we see. I'll talk about the other building blocks for the statement of purpose. For now, I have to go. And I'm sorry I couldn't just get some other scholars to join me in on this call, even though they had questions. Maybe we will do this next week. Abundance is here, there is no lack. God bless you, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.